Wes Hampton has long stood as a respected and cherished figure in the world of gospel music. His reputation didn't rest solely on his incredible vocal talent. It was also about the kind of man he proved himself to be: calm, strong, faithful, and grounded. His voice carried a rare blend of force, hope, and peace, touching countless hearts across the globe. Through both his solo career and his time with the Gaither Vocal Band, Wes impacted millions of lives. Becoming more than just a performer, he became a companion to many through their spiritual journeys. However, something shifted. Fans began to notice a troubling absence. Wes seemed to vanish from public life. There were no updates, no new music releases, no tour dates, complete stillness. Wow. And in today's digital world, silence doesn't stay unnoticed for long. Curiosity soon turned into concern. People began asking, "Where is Wes? Is he okay? Has something happened?" As time passed without any word, speculation started growing rapidly on internet forums and social media platforms. The quiet became loud with theories, some filled with concern, others fueled by rumor. For a long time, no one had answers. Recently, Andrea Hampton, Wes's wife, chose to break the silence. At 47 years old, she stepped forward to share the truth behind the mystery. Her words were not dramatic or defensive. Instead, they came with grace, warmth, and quiet strength. Andrea offered more than just an explanation, offered a deeply human reminder. Behind every public figure is a private life. Often hidden from the spotlight, Wes Hampton was never just a singer. His voice, full of honesty and serenity, reached people in ways that transcended music. Whether performing solo or singing with the Gaither Vocal Band, Wes connected his audience to something deeper, something spiritual. His music felt like guidance, his lyrics like prayers. To many, his presence became a source of comfort during life's hardest moments. That's why his sudden silence felt so personal, like a trusted friend had quietly slipped away as months went by with no new music or social media posts. Fans grew increasingly anxious. Speculation ranged from health issues to personal tragedies to career burnout. The theories multiplied, some well-meaning, others reckless. But despite the buzz, both Wes and Andrea remained silent. That silence only made the whispers grow louder. In today's fast-paced world, where every absence demands explanation, their refusal to speak felt even more puzzling. Now, however, Andrea has gently ended the silence. She didn't issue a press release or appear on a major talk show. Instead, she shared a heartfelt message, simple, sincere, and grounded in truth. She began by thanking everyone who had patiently waited, prayed, and hoped. Then, with tenderness, she explained what had really been happening behind the scenes. Wes wasn't physically ill. He hadn't suffered a devastating loss, but he had reached a breaking point, spiritually and emotionally. Years of nonstop touring, public worship, and the constant demands of ministry had slowly drained him. There wasn't a single event that caused it, just a quiet accumulation of fatigue. According to Andrea, this wasn't a tragedy yet, it was a turning point. Wes hadn't fallen out of love with music. Instead, he needed time to care for his soul. So, he made the difficult, yet necessary decision to step back. He needed rest, reflection, and space to reconnect with himself. It wasn't about giving up, it was about healing. This was a season of quiet renewal, not the end of his journey. During this time, Wes didn't vanish, simply slowed down. He stayed home more, leaned into his faith, and found joy in small, quiet moments: gardening, praying, walking, reading. He also quietly mentored young worship leaders, offering guidance away from the spotlight. In those quiet days, Wes and Andrea found something rare: a chance to reconnect as husband and wife without the chaos of stage lights and travel. They rediscovered one another, not because their marriage was broken, but because they finally had the time to grow together in a different way. Wes also began writing music again, not for an album, not for applause, but for his own healing. He sang in his home softly, turning his music into private devotion. This pause in his career wasn't an ending, it was a reset, a return to the reasons he began singing in the first place: not for performance, but for worship. Andrea made sure to express deep gratitude to the fans who had stood by them in silence, those who prayed without needing answers, who continued to believe in Wes, even when he wasn't in the public eye. She reminded everyone that public figures are still people, dealing with the same battles, pressures, and quiet storms as anyone else. Wes may not be performing on grand stages right now, but he hasn't lost his passion. His ministry continues, just in quieter, more personal ways. At 47, Wes Hampton is not gone. He has simply entered a new chapter, one focused on calm over clamor, stillness over spotlight. Andrea's words offered a powerful reminder. Stepping away doesn't always mean something is wrong. Sometimes it's the bravest and wisest thing a person can do. Wes took that step not out of weakness, but out of strength, choosing his soul's well-being over public expectations. She also recalled one deeply personal moment Wes shared with her during this season. I was lost, yet I continued to sing. To avoid losing myself, I stopped. That single line spoke volumes. No headline or rumor could capture the depth of that truth. The story isn't about collapse, it's about choosing restoration. In the gospel world, there are artists who dazzle briefly and then fade away. And then there are those, like Wes Hampton, whose presence quietly endures, offering not just music, but strength, faith, and comfort across generations. Wes's voice was never just about harmonies or notes. It was about spirit and ability to soothe anxious hearts without ever needing to shout. His recent silence wasn't empty. It was full of purpose, meaning, and spiritual transformation. In a world obsessed with visibility, Wes chose peace. He chose presence with his family, his God, and himself. Now, after Andrea's heartfelt statement, the speculation can rest. Wes hasn't disappeared. He has simply paused to breathe, to remember who he is beyond the stage. This chapter is not the end. It's a soft, sacred beginning.